Welcome, everyone, to the fucking GCW show. This is the fucking GCW show. I'm your co-host, Chad. With me, as always, is Mr. Mike Bellcaster himself. What's going on, Mike?
Man, nothing much. It was a hell of a day. We had some snow overnight, so I was, doing the shoveling shit, doing some work, getting done with the day. Excited to talk some GC fucking W.
Yeah, man. So last night they had their, I guess we could call it their WrestleMania, for lack of a better, I don't want to put that on GCW of the WWE terminology, but essentially this was the biggest show they've ever put on.
Yeah, and you know what? It was crazy. Hammerstein looked phenomenal, but a lot more spaced out than I was remembering in my head. You know what I mean? So like I was just blown away, man. I thought they did a great job. Presentation was through the roof.
Yeah, man. I want to kind of I want to touch on that for sure in one of our topics. We're going to do 6 topics for you guys, the big things coming out of this event that we feel like you should know. But real quick, just at the top, for anyone who's listening to get their GCW fix, who may have not watched the show, if you haven't watched it, go order the replay. $25, well worth it.
Well worth it.
Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of fill everybody in on the results, so we can run those down. Big Vin won the Pabst Blue Ribbon Kickoff Battle Royal, who is, I guess, 911's son from ECW fame.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, so when he won, cool. He eliminated Charles Mason, who I love, good independent wrestler. He eliminated him, had a moment with his dad. They toasted a beer at the end of the event.
That's awesome.
I think everyone was pulling for Thunder Rosa or LuFisto to win.
Yeah.
And Thunder Rosa was a big surprise. LuFisto got a big, huge pop. But yeah, Big Vin took that. Grim Reaper defeated Alex Zane, Dante Leon, Shane Mercer, Jack Cartwheel, and Ninja Mac in the Pabst Blue Ribbon Kickoff Scramble match. That classic scramble we always talk about.
It's a mouthful, man. A great shit.
Yeah, dude. AJ Gray defeated PCO, Alex Colon, G Raver, Tony Deppen, Jimmy Lloyd, and Jordan Oliver in the Grab the Brass Ring ladder match.
Hell of a ladder match.
Yeah, we'll touch on that a little bit for sure. Team Gringo defeated Team Bandito in a trios match. That match was insane.
That was wild. Absolutely wild. It's always a good time when there's a lucha match on the card. This was no exception, man.
Yeah, lucha rules. And I just have one quick little gif I had to play from this trios match because it was one of the most insane spots I've seen. Let me see here. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Wild. I mean, I know there was a little bit of like teamwork, but that just looked so over the top and ridiculous.
Absolutely. And it was just insane, man. Like I don't even know how to justify doing that. Yes, Gringo Loco never disappoints.
So good.
It's crazy. And it was a I've seen some really, really shitty lucha matches in my time. This was really well put together. This was fun. Not as botchy as you would expect a lucha match, especially on a GCW show to go. It was good, man. A good entertaining time.
Yeah, it was. It had some crazy spots in it. I mean, anytime you have Bandito in it, Laredo Kid, you're going to get a good match. And dude, Gringo Loco is killing it.
Absolutely. Could not agree more.
And then we had Blake Christian, who was supposed to face Jonathan Gresham. I guess Jonathan Gresham, there was something he couldn't make the show. Yeah. I don't know if it was a COVID protocol thing or what, but he couldn't make it. So we have Leo Rush step in.
Yeah. Wild.
Pretty great match. I mean, those guys just match up so perfectly.
Yeah. It was fun. It was a really good watch. A lot of fun spots in that. I love that move Christian did when he jumped over the top rope with the backflip, and then he caught Leo Rush and did the DDT spot. It was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, man, it was so good. then we had Matt Cardona against Joey Janela. We're going to get into that.
Hell yeah.
Matt Cardona goes over, but there's a bunch of moving parts on that match.
A lot of moving parts.
A kind of match happened out of nowhere. We had Second Gear Crew with Mance Warner and Matt Justice with Sabu and Bill Alfonso defeat 440 Atticus Cogar and his crew. Good little spot to get those guys featured. It had, for me, the return of Mance Warner, which we know he broke his leg the same weekend that Danhausen broke his leg. So that was good to see him at least involved in the event.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we had Ruby Soho defeating Allie Katch. We'll touch on that a little bit. We had Jeff Jarrett defeating Effy. We'll touch on that a little bit. John Moxley defeating Homicide to retain the GCW World Heavyweight title. We'll definitely touch on that. And then in the main event, we had Matt Tremont and a returning Nick fucking Gage answering the open call from the Briscoe brothers. We're definitely going to touch on that as well.
Absolutely.
So
man.
You kind of alluded to it at the top of the show, and I think it's something we should kick off our 6 topics. Topic number 1 for sure, the production enhancements, the look of the show, the crowd, the energy. What did you think about just the overall presentation of the show last night, Mike?
It was miles above, the last 4 shows we covered. It was crazy to see GCW running a big arena like that, not like Sportatorium or Harpo's or whatever it is. But right. I feel like all these events leading into this were kind of building up into that. Like it felt like the shows kept getting better and better. And I feel like they kind of learned along the way. Even the sound quality, though, was just that much better. I know, like you couldn't hear the entrance music as much because it was such a big venue. But like the ring announcing, the actual the commentary team, everything had a crisper, clearer tone to it. Very, very fucking good. I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was crazy. It's wild seeing. I know they must have redone Hammerstein with that blue aesthetic compared to the gold it used to have.
I know.
It was trippy, man. It was like, wow. It's like it didn't feel like the old school Hammerstein. It was almost like a new era of Hammerstein, and the place looked huge.
It really did.
On camera,
it threw me off. Like I was expecting, ECW One Night Stand Hammerstein. So when it came in and it had that different color to it, and the way they spaced out, it wasn't so tight as it felt in ECW. But the thing that was like wild to me, like it felt so much more like spaced out a little bit, but they set the record last night for largest attendance for a wrestling show at Hammerstein.
Wow. See, that's crazy. I want to say they definitely have to use a smaller ring than ECW used, because just how like compact everything was.
Right.
It was cool. Like it added more flavor to it, but like, yeah, it looked like a completely new Hammerstein, man. And good for them for busting that attendance record up, because that's awesome.
And dude, there was a moment like talking about the production enhancements, and you brought up the audio. The audio definitely was much improved, but like even just the graphics packages, like when they would throw to a replay.
Yeah.
And they would have the picture in picture of the action and the replay and the graphics on top of that. And then the quality of the cameras, I could tell was a step up. And some of the camera shots they had, like those far away, capturing the entire Hammerstein ballroom with the ring. Like there were so many moments where I'm like, I thought to myself, dude, if this becomes the new norm for GCW.
Yeah.
Like if this is the quality we're going to get moving forward, and it's not just for Hammerstein, these guys are a legit number 3 promotion in the country.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man.
Maybe not on like, you got Impact. They've got a TV deal with Access TV. I get it. But with Impact and NWA and MLW, as good as all of those promotions are, and I enjoy all of them, I feel like GCW was only missing that production quality, because the one thing they have that the other promotions like the Impacts and NWAs and MLWs don't have, they bring a true different flavor to me.
Yeah.
Like, I know NWA is kind of doing the retro thing and they do have their own little flavor going too, but something about GCW, when I'm watching it last night, I was just like, man, these guys, the attitude in that arena and the feeling I was getting, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is a movement. Like, this isn't
Absolutely.
just a show. I don't watch Impact or NWA and feel like, man, something's happening here. There's a groundswell of support in the youth of pro wrestling fans. I felt that last night. Like, man, we're seeing the beginning of something that I think is going to grow into a monster in this country.
Absolutely. It's I hear a lot of people comparing it to ECW, and I feel like at this point it's almost not fair to do anymore, because
Yeah.
like it's its own element, its own being. They're doing crazy good for underground wrestling, but they're also bringing that underground appeal. I always back and forth, and it's just like heavy metal in the 90s.
Right.
Like everybody's like, you're starting to get it. You want to be part of it.
Right.
You want to be in the mosh pit. You want to be at those big shows. Yeah, it was wild, and even underneath the New York Athletic Commission, they had to tone it down just a little bit. Like
That's what I was going to ask you about.
at first, I was like a little thrown off by it, but when I was rewatching it again today, I was like, this almost makes for a better product because of it's not the gruesome shit all the time, so it kind of gives more flavor to everything. So I felt like that was a really good move on their part. It was weird watching a show by GCW with no glass.
I know.
No toothpicks in the head spot.
Right. Like,
and yeah, it was a trip, man. Like the craziest it got. I think Cardona is the one that bled the most.
yeah, there wasn't a lot of blood. And I'm with you though. I think, like, I was going to ask you, like, do you think, obviously they had to work within the rules of the very strict New York Athletic Commission. So it's like, do you think that hurt them in any way? And I'm with you. You kind of answered my question. I think it helped in a way, because
Yeah,
now it showed you, hey, we're not all about that. We can still put on great entertaining shows. We're not just light tubes and blood,
yeah,
which I still think they had good violence. I still think they kept their attitude. It wasn't like a sellout move to me. It
no,
still felt like a GCW show.
no, and that's one thing that was that totally was on the back burner in my brain that I totally forgot about, is that athletic commission from New York is fucking ruthless.
Yeah.
And I know that was a big deal, partially why ECW was kind of struggling too. Like,
Right.
and like you said, dude, these guys are known for the glass and all that shit, but this proved that they
Yep.
didn't need it, and it's not necessary for every show. Is it cool to do once in a while? Hell yeah. Like maybe this is how they're going to start doing more with it. It would be cool if they use those as like big payoff matches,
Right.
and like seeing shit like that it would make it more investing, I think. And I think I thought it was a great move on their part. Like, let's do it. Let's make it good. This was a regular wrestling show put on by GCW,
Yeah.
and it was a fucking great show.
I was legit blown away by how good it looked. That was
Yeah.
my one thing going in. It's like, okay, now the eyes of the world are upon you,
Yeah.
the wrestling world. And are you going to step up? I mean, they even had a ring skirt.
Yeah.
They never have ring skirts.
It's wild. I forgot all about that too. It was a trip, but it was like even down to the camera crew. Like they were on top of their shit when
Yep.
I forgot who was looking, but somebody lifted up the ring skirt, was looking underneath it. It might have been Cardona, but the camera guy put the skirt back down for him.
Yeah.
They were paying attention to shit, and I was like, this is cool.
There was a lot more attention to detail last night. I very pleasantly surprised. Here is one of the shots that
Man, Yeah, it looks so much more spread out than the old school Hammerstein.
It really does.
Yeah. It's a trip, man. Like they might have found a new home in New York if they play their cards right. Look, they even have formats. That
Yeah.
they're barely
they never
there.
have that. Yeah.
They never have formats.
Yeah, man. But yeah, overall great presentation. Moving on, next thing I want to talk about with you is the usage of GCW originals, because coming into this, you heard a little bit of flack on the internet. Obviously, it's where everybody goes to bitch about the Matt Cardonas, the Jeff Jarretts, even the Moxleys, and how you Atticus Cogar even mentioned this in his promo last week that we played.
Yeah.
How you're throwing us into a scramble match where, like, the people that built this company on their backs, where are we at? Where are we featured? And I thought they did a pretty good job of working in all of those OG GCW guys. How'd you think they handled some of those OG guys?
Listen, there was a lot of hiccups yesterday, and not it was unpreventable shit, like Jonathan Gresham not being there, or just the whole thing in general. I think they did a good job of splitting the two, and they did it very they did it very well. I felt like it was like really well, like Mance Warner coming out.
Exactly.
Nick Gage, fucking bring it. I'm glad it wasn't FTR at some point. Yeah, look at fucking Mance Warner.
I mean, Mance Warner is a guy who this company, he's kind of became a staple, second gear crew, him, Matt Justice, AJ Gray, Effy, all of those dudes in the second gear crew, one called Manders, and he breaks his leg the same weekend Danhausen breaks his leg.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he says something about, I told you guys if I had to crawl to the ring, I would be at the Hammerstein. And for them to give him a spot, I think you got to give those guys spots. And
Absolutely.
Obviously they had him, Matt Justice, Atticus Cogar, all kind of work an angle. And it was little things like that.
Yeah, so awesome.
That really elevated the OG crew. Like, even, we had Allie Katch.
Yeah.
She had a great promo last weekend.
Yeah.
And the hype package they put together that kind of was almost like a mirror to Ruby Soho's package.
Well, I love that. Yeah, that was fucking perfectly done. And that's, like, as we were saying, production quality. They're killing it with these packages. Even that video in the beginning.
Oh,
when and it was everybody. It was Cardona, it was MDK, it was fucking, it was Effy, and like Brian Lauderdale. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
And I loved that they went out there and they kind of spoke about their stigmas.
Yeah.
On how how it was, but that's it. They were showing the GCW crew in that package. It wasn't the Jeff Jarretts. It wasn't Mox and all this shit. It was really well put together, and like showcasing the talents. That's why we had the scramble match, and I know it sucks, or the ladder match even, but like it was still they got their shit in.
Talking about Lauderdale. On the kickoff show on YouTube, he came out at the end and gave almost like a Paul Heyman ECW type of rally speech. Brett Lauderdale came out and he was pointing out people in the crowd and was like, I see a lot of people that's been here with us from the beginning. And he brought out this red chair that I guess was in the New Jersey places they would play when they were nothing. And he was like, all you guys remember these chairs? And he was talking about the OGs and how, Mania weekend prior to the pandemic, they were supposed to take over the world. They were going to do like 4,000 seat venue and put on the biggest indie show. And then the pandemic happened and they had to rebuild from nothing, and how this is really like a culmination of everything they've done. It was very cool. What'd you think of Allie Katch and Ruby Soho? I love that match. And dude, I thought Allie Katch looked like a star.
100%. Definitely my favorite Allie Katch match that I've watched and you know, this whole time. Really good spots, good back and forth. The only thing I was a little thrown off by was that like Ruby went over, Jarrett goes over, you know, Mox goes over. Not shitting on Mox or anybody, but like there could have been a feel good moment for one of their home guys. You know, like Effy could have won easily, and that would have made more sense.
The one that I agree 100% with you on is Allie Katch. The other two, I'm like, okay, you're building towards a future. Like Jeff Jarrett's going to do more. So what's he going to do? If it was one-offs, like if Jeff Jarrett wasn't coming back, then I would have scratched my head and been like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Mox, for people tuning in and seeing like, holy shit, he's still their champion. Mox is their champion. I feel like that was a way to bait people in to keep watching them.
For sure.
But the Allie Katch one, I was like, man, she looked like, I mean, she had her hair done, like everything. You could tell it was a big event because she came out with the shades. It was a big entrance for her. Yeah. She looked like a star. It was almost one of those things where I'm like, it almost felt like a send-off match for her. I don't know what.
Ooh.
I don't know if like, did she sign with an Impact or an AEW? Like,
that's true.
That like, I don't know. It felt like a big culmination of her career because she said she's always been chasing Ruby. And so I love that match. Another big match, and then we'll move on to the next topic, featuring like all the OGs, the people that we've come to love, is the Grab the Brass Ring ladder match.
Fuck. That was a hell of a match, man. I knew that was going to get crazy. And the thing that popped me the most was the brass ring wasn't even center.
Oh, no.
It was off like to the ropes. And I was like, man, that's fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
And like, because it could have gotten really bad, but I laughed my ass off because for like the beginning of the match, like a lot of the guys were putting the ladder in the center of the ring. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Right. You're not going to reach it.
Yeah, it was funny. It was good though. I thought this was amazing. And I think everybody did such a good job. Like AJ Gray's like, I'm never doing another fucking ladder match again after that shit.
Dude, he took some bumps. He took some hard bumps.
It was good though. It was fun. It was really entertaining. Good. Nobody got fucking destroyed, you know. And it was like it was a solid fucking ladder match.
And I liked it. Like it really was kind of like the creme de la creme of their OG guys. I mean, you had people that we've been talking about a lot on this show: Tony Deppen, Jordan Oliver, Alex Colon, G Raver, Jimmy Lloyd, PCO, AJ Gray. And AJ Gray, we played last week. He called out Eddie Kingston, but I guess Eddie Kingston had an injury, couldn't make the show, couldn't accept the call out. So AJ Gray enters himself into this ladder match, ends up winning it. And now he's going to be able to use that to call out the champion at any point.
That's cool. That'll be fun, man. An AJ Gray and a Mox match would be fantastic, you know, like good shit.
and AJ Gray's so over. I mean, when he came out, the crowd was lit. And after the match, they actually interviewed AJ Gray, and I have that clip.
Turn off here, everybody. Fight TV. AJ Gray, man, I wasn't even expecting to see you out there, but you won.
What do you mean you weren't expecting to see me? What do you mean? How many times am I here? No. Shut the fuck up for a second. Now I'm here all the fucking time. I'm killing it each and every fucking time I go out there. So what the fuck do you mean you weren't expecting to see me? It's the biggest show of the fucking year. And I've been the most solid motherfucker in this company. So if you didn't expect to see me, you a fucking dummy.
That might be true, but everybody was around the ring. We went live on the air, and then your music hits and you come on out. I was worried for a second, but I shouldn't have been. And that was my fault because you walked out. Can we see that ring? Can we see that brass ring? You have the brass ring, and now at Spring Break, you have the opportunity to do whatever you want. What do you want?
That's for me to know, not you.
That is fair. Well, hey, congratulations. Man, what an incredible match. If you're not watching, go right now. Fight.tv. You need to check out The World on GCW. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That
You
reporter
fucking dummy.
looked scared for
I
a
love
second.
Anytime you hear an interview start like that, shut the fuck up. Like it's golden, man. Yeah, no. The only thing that sucked about that match was I didn't get to hear the whole Hammerstein singing "We Built the City on Rock and Roll."
I know.
I was like, they robbed Tony Deppen. What the fuck, man?
I know Tony Deppen got robbed, and I feel like going into that match, the big thing was everyone thought that was going to be Alex Cologne's match. He's the ultra violent champion. It's like, okay, this is his next step towards the actual world title. But since we've been doing the GCW show, one of his arch nemesis from No Holds Barred, John Wayne Murdoch, showed up to fuck him out of the brass ring, which was great booking because we know that feud will continue.
Yeah, good shit, man.
I love
like the storytelling has even gotten better, like for sure. And like you're seeing like those little teases like that really make a lot of sense, and it's long-term booking coming out of the last 4 shows we watched.
Yeah.
And we were just like, fuck it. Like, we're going to hop on the GCW board and check it out. Like, I'm invested now. Now I'm not going to I'm not missing shit anymore.
No, the stories, like, they're doing such a good job of like, they have 2 to 3 events a month.
Yeah.
And I'm following the stories now. Like, I'm tracking who's on the come up. I'm tracking, all of these moving parts they have. But like, next up, let's talk about Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Effy. What great storytelling in this match. And the first thing I have to say is like, Jeff Jarrett looked phenomenal in shape wise. Like, dude looked prepared. I was expecting an old man. Maybe that's on me. Maybe I shouldn't have been thinking that way. But dude, when he came out, I was like, okay, Jeff, like he's put in some work.
Yeah, no, he's never. I don't think he's been one guy that has like never lost his step, like ever. Like he looked great in TNA. He never looked fucking bad in TNA. Like it wasn't like Jarrett's losing it. He's always been a phenomenal in-ring worker, great on the mic, great doing his thing. I loved the remix to his theme song. Kind of gave it that deeper, darker, kind of shit, but it still kept the Jeff Jarrett, aura to it. But I'm digging the Undertaker Jarrett vibe.
Yeah, the last outlaw, the man in black.
Best fucking thing he could have been doing.
And I have a piece real quick. Yes. I have a piece of his intro when Emil J is like running down his accolades. It's so cool.
NWA World Heavyweight Champion, a former 4-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, a 2-time AAA Mega Champion, a 2-time Hall of Famer. He is the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett.
And
dude,
awesome.
Emil J, and it just hit me. I really like his mic. I like his sound. I love his announcing. But it just hit me why I think I'm like really gravitating towards. I think he's my favorite announcer right now, ring announcer. And it's because his cadence, and I don't know if you grew up on this guy, he reminds me, his tone and his inflections, he reminds me of fucking early WCW Gary Michael Capetta.
Ooh, yes. That's a good fucking call out.
I mean, Gary Michael Capetta isn't dropping fucks and all this, but like, his tone reminds me of just, there's something when he was rattling off those titles of Jarrett. I'm like, that's Gary Michael Capetta, man.
Yeah. Dude, that's I never put 2 and 2 together. That's a fucking great comparison.
I love it. And so you were talking about Jeff Jarrett. Just what do you think of like, what do you think we have in store moving forward? What's Jeff Jarrett doing? Do you think, does this Effy thing continue? Does he is he a staple of GCW right now, or could we even see him get involved on the behind the scenes aspect of GCW?
I would be all about, because I mean this guy's been every company, then some, and he just came off he was just on WWE.
Yeah,
I
think he was a producer
wearing all white. He was on TV. I think. It was
oh yeah,
Raw
he just did,
yeah. So he was like working the reverse gimmick, so it's not stopping on the ground. He's already walking on. I honestly would love to see Jeff Jarrett go for the GCW title.
Why not?
Why not? Why the fuck not? Give him something cool to do. Like, imagine a Mox versus Jarrett match. Shit we never even thought we would see.
Right.
Blow people. That's a pay-per-view buy. That's a fucking sell for a good show. Effy, I think Effy's moving on to. It felt like Effy was going to move on to a new program after this. I didn't really feel like there was too much there. That was one of my notes I wrote down, is what's next for Jeff Jarrett here, and what's next for Effy. Because it felt like this was a blow off to that.
Yeah.
And just like with the Allie Katch match, it felt like there was a blow off to this, which I totally, I want to see more out of Jarrett. Definitely. I love this.
I do too. And I'm with you. I could see Effy going for the world title too at some point.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him in that main event spot. I mean, when he comes out to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, come on.
Oh,
I mean,
awesome. Yeah.
Guys go over. But yeah, it was crazy. I love the way the finish goes down with the guitar shot, but Effy eats it.
Oh.
And then Jarrett hits that finisher with the guitar still around Effy's neck.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's
just
what
a
I mean.
great...
Jared just has not lost a step. I mean, look at
look at his arms.
Yeah. It's an upper body game, man.
It's an upper body game, man. But
yeah, he looked great, man. And it was I'm excited for what's next. Like this put I hope this mapped out the rest of the year for GCW. Yeah. I hope they're moving on to bigger and better things, and that's not a knock at what they've been doing, because it's been working. It's been great. It's been fun to watch, but I like this kind of new vibe that's going on with this Hammerstein show, and I hope they follow along with what it's doing, especially with the Jeff Jarrett story, and it's good stuff. We don't even know what Jeff Jarrett's there for yet.
Exactly.
He just showed up to fuck up Effy.
Exactly. And I think they're doing a really good job of putting the pieces in place, because in an ECW, there's a lot of those ECW comparisons, but that's another comparison with ECW that I kind of agree with. They've got those homegrown originals, those OGs, but then they're bringing in, the Jeff Jarrett's, who's essentially like Terry Funk with ECW. They're bringing in, I mean, we're going to get into it. Another big legend got brought back that we'll talk about, and he looks like he's going to actually have a GCW run, not just hey, I'm showing up as a surprise. But yeah, I feel like they're putting things together where the shows are going to get bigger, better. And this isn't like, I don't see them just staying the course of what they've done. I feel like this is a building block situation where each show they're going to improve on not only their in-ring and their storytelling and their production. It's all going to keep gradually improving.
Absolutely. Like even the show at Harpo's, they showed they tried to do a picture-in-picture, and it was all fucked up. It was a fast forward, and the commentator's like, "Holy shit, we actually have picture-in-picture." And then but I said, I felt like all those shows leading up to this were building those little pieces into there. They're just giving you they're learning on the go. They're doing what the fuck they're doing. So I felt like it all accumulated to yesterday, and I feel like if things keep going in that aspect, these guys are going to be taking over the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So next up, this is probably the craziest, not necessarily in the ring, but man, they pulled out everything in this match. Joey Janela versus Matt Cardona.
Fantastic shit. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this match. Every little nuance, every little subtle thing that happened here, I was fucking popping left and right and just like, what is this? What? Oh. And then there was a giant payoff at the end of it, which was so cool, man. But like just the match themselves, it was the bloodiest match on the card.
Yep.
Which was unexpected.
Yeah.
You know, all the ECW little throwbacks from Cardona coming out with the Sandman remix of his theme song, with Chelsea, you know, giving the Buell vibe with the kendo stick. But Cardona's doing his thing too. He makes it about WWE, where he comes out instead of being the Sandman, he does the Triple H. You know, I loved all that. And then I loved when he got to the ringside and the fans like, fuck you. And he's like, okay, fuck me. And he takes a sip of his, boom, spits it in his face. And the guy was like all heated, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
New Chelsea 469 gear. Not just a t-shirt anymore. Now it's gear.
Wow.
Wow.
What an asshole. We've seen him pay tribute to people a lot less great than Mick Foley. That's what I'm talking about.
There it is.
They're going to burn this building down if Cardona wins. Fuck you. Read their lips. Even the Joey Janela cosplayer in the front row will beat the shit out of you.
I think Cardona just hot. That Foley is still the most over guy in the history of Long Island.
In the history, yeah, without a doubt.
Oh,
Even the Joey Janela cosplayer in the front row will beat the shit out of you.
Dude, but like even like his gear was a throwback to Mikey Whipwreck.
Yep.
The blue knee pads around his boots. Fucking Chelsea 469 or whatever.
Yeah.
It was
Mick Foley on the plaid.
Yeah,
cut off.
Beautiful. And then like the "If Cardona Wins We Riot" shirt, and like they obviously he knew what he was getting into with it. And I thought this match was so fun and just look how badass that is. Like, what a picture, right?
Yeah. I mean, you've got the the throwback to the ECW One Night Stand. If John Cena wins, we riot. There's a "If Cardona wins, we riot" hanging over the balcony.
Unbelievable, man. And like I mean, even when Mark Sterling comes out and he looks like Joe Gardner. You know, I wish he would have did the wow.
100%. And he brings out, I have this clip. He brings out Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I thought there was no chance of that. Damn it, Vince.
What in the world is going on here? We're in the middle of a matchup.
There is a match going on right now, but Vince McMahon is here.
No,
it's not Vince McMahon.
It's Vincent. It's Vincent. It is a Vince of sorts.
Call him Vince.
When Smart Mark pulled that Vince McMahon mask off, and it was Virgil / Vincent, whatever you want to call him, he about pulled off Virgil's head.
he was jacked up. It was crazy.
That's the thing about this match, dude. There were so many like little surprise pops like that. You had okay, let's run down it. You had Smart Mark come out with Virgil in a Vince McMahon mask. You had Swoggle.
Yeah.
You had Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
You had I have the Marco pops up with a chair to take out Swoggle.
Crazy,
so,
man.
And then you have the big one. There's two big ones in this, I feel like. We have the first one, which led to the win, to Cardona picking up the victory.
Yeah.
His buddy, his brother, his best friend, his major brother, Brian Myers. What'd you think about this, Mike?
I thought it was great. Good throwback to Edge, ruining the One Night Stand match for John Cena. It was really cool. Wasn't expecting it. They just did an Impact show over the weekend, so I was like, oh, maybe they're all just cutting out and going home. And it was crazy, man.
Yeah,
really cool throwback. I loved it. Loved all the little shit like that. Like that's what made the show so fun. Like, look at that, boom, through the door, just like Edge did, Cena at One Night Stand. So it was fucking well put together, man.
Yeah, and it's great to see, like, man, they're pulling out Brian Myers now. Now they're, we talked about Cardona bringing in the major wrestling figure fans to this
Yeah.
product. You're bringing in the whole universe, bringing out Swoggle, bringing in Brian Myers. Now they're part of, in GCW, a true heel stable. Like, what all are we going to see with this?
Yeah. No, it was crazy. It was just like you said, it was pop after pop after pop. It was fun. Uh, Great fucking throwbacks, great callbacks. I literally loved how this match was put together because it was just so it had everything. It was nostalgia, a vendetta between Joey Janela and Matt Cardona and Chelsea. Chelsea screwed Cardona over for a second. Everybody thought it was, oh shit, here's the payoff.
I know.
And then she fucks Janela up,
and he pulls out the fucking the cod piece that.
Yeah.
So
and
great.
I'm surprised it wasn't on sale on the major page today. It's like Cardona's favorite shit to do is sell shit. But it was so fucking fun. That's one thing that no big company can do.
No.
Like nobody's going to be able to recreate Enter Sandman with a mashup between Enter Sandman and Cardona's music.
Right.
Like I it's on SoundCloud, like the full audio version, and like at the end of it, it's got the ecto fucking horn, the siren going off. So like just so it's fun and silly, and a lot goes to Cardona on the accolades for fucking getting this together the way it's been.
Yeah.
And I feel like if Cardona didn't go to GCW, this show wouldn't have been anywhere near as fun as it was. It would have been fun, but like I give the guy all the credit in the fucking world, man.
and this whole match to me is like it had everything you love in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It had a blood feud, with the whole Chelsea Green and the pictures, and then all the back and forth on social media. So you're hyped for the feud itself.
Yeah.
And then you get like surprise pop after surprise pop. Brian Myers comes out in the motorcycle helmet, spears Janela through the door, leading to the heels picking up the win in Matt Cardona. And you think, oh, that's the big surprise. Well, trash starts coming into the ring. They're throwing cups into the ring. And that sign, if Cardona wins, we riot. I think they planned the final surprise to keep them from actually rioting. If this final surprise didn't happen, who knows what the Hammerstein crowd would have done. But okay, so they're standing tall. Cardona and Brian Myers are being pelted with litter and cans and beers. And then all of a sudden, the green lights hit, and we hear that classic DX.
Unbelievable, man. And you know what? The cool thing is they disalluded to it so well. Because like X-Pac's like, January's coming up, I'm back in ring shape. Everybody's thinking the Rumble.
Yep.
And there's the fun thing about GCW. He could be in the Rumble too.
He could still be in the Rumble, yeah.
Yeah. But then like he posted that, and then Cardona hit him up randomly. He's like, fuck your action figures or whatever. And they started going back and forth a little bit. And X-Pac's like, fuck you, man. He's like, I wish my parents never bought me the 1, 2, 3 kid figure when I was a kid. And I was just like, I thought it was just fun banter going back and forth. That's fucking sweet.
Planting seeds, man.
Yeah. And like, it was built so well. And now, I mean, X-Pac looks like he's in some of the best fucking shape he's been in a long, long time.
Tip top shape, man.
Yeah, no beer belly. Like X-Pac's had the beer belly a few years, but he looks as good, if not better, than when he did that feud with Generico.
Oh, yeah.
When it was Generico and 1, 2, 3 Kid back in like fucking 2000, whatever, 13, 14. crazy. But this is, I'm pumped. Like X-Pac is going to have a huge fucking run here, it seems.
Yeah,
Because Joey Janela even posted, he's like, X-Pac is GC fucking W. And I was like, damn, this is great.
Right. This isn't that's what we were talking about earlier. Like with Jeff Jarrett, it's like, it'd be one thing if it was just the equivalent of a Rumble pop in. Nice surprise, moving on. But these guys are there. Like they're actively in storyline. And they actually caught up with X-Pac afterwards, the guys from Fight TV, and interviewed him. And I have that. It's pretty interesting.
Hey guys, Josh Chernoff here for Fight, and I am joined by a man that we saw last night, did not expect to see tonight. Sean Waltman, you made your presence felt, your presence known here at the Hammerstein. Matt Cardona is not happy with you. I don't know if he's going to throw away his 1, 2, 3 kid figure or not, but he's not happy with it.
That shit's worth too much money, man. He ain't throwing it away.
I mean, if you happen to have an extra, I wouldn't mind taking it.
Man, I'll be honest with you, man. Before all this, I was a Matt Cardona fan. And I'm still a fan of his hustle. But, you know, he started this shit with me. When I announced that I was, you know, when there was an announcement I was gonna have a few more matches.
Yeah, you're cleared, man.
You know, and then he just kept fucking with me. So excuse my language, everybody, but that's how I talk.
Hey, GCW, right?
Yeah, man.
We're good.
And listen, you know, I already got a couple of texts like, "Hey, man, 2-time Hall of Famer at the Outlaw Mud Show. 33 years, 2 broken necks, torn knees, 2 torn assholes. I think I earned the fucking right to play in the mud anytime I want."
I agree 100%. You know, it's not lost on me, and I'm sure it's not lost on you, that when you really broke out in this business, when you defeated Razor Ramon, it was right upstairs.
Yeah, man.
7th floor, right?
Is that 7th floor? Is that which floor it is?
Right upstairs. Yeah. So, I mean, man, you talk about now you're cleared. Now you're cleared to come back. Talk about full circle, man. You were right back in this same building, making everybody stand on their feet. I was so excited to see you come out there.
I was excited, man.
And dude, hey, I think it's safe to say, at least if you ask Matt Cardona, this isn't over between you guys.
Bring it, man.
All right, well, we're going to have to see that.
Matt Cardona, he comes here and he fucking runs down GCW, makes fun of the dressing rooms, everything. Like, oh, shut the fuck up, man. Seriously. All right.
He looks jacked, like so happy to be back.
Yeah, and give me Sean Waltman, Matt Cardona in a feud in GCW.
Hell yeah. I think it's fair to say after last night that the major wrestling figure pod group, you know, Swaggle, Myers, Sterling, this is this is little seeds planting. I think this is going to be, they're going to run their own like version of DX or NWO there. Yeah. And Janela and X-Pac be pretty badass to see if they could get Road Dogg or, you know, Billy Gunn, possibly both, to come down and see Janela as that Triple H and DX. You know? Like, oh, it would be so great.
and that's the beauty of this company right now, man. Like, it's unlimited what they can pull out.
Yeah.
When you've got the same company that has Nick Gage, AJ Gray, Effy, and those cats mixing with Jeff Jarrett's and X-Pacs, I mean, this is something we've never. This is a whole new thing we're seeing.
Yeah, this is truly indies, but with a game plan and money.
It really is. It's the Super Bowl of independence, because if you go to any indie show, you know, our local indie show here, Conquest, they put on great shows, and they have their stable of originals, but then they'll bring in Scott Steiner. You know what I mean? Like they'll bring in Shane Douglas or the Sandman. Yeah. And the promotion you work for, same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's I mean, that's how you run the indies. That's how you draw tickets. You get people out there. I love that. Major pod crew is like ECW's hot commodity.
Yeah,
more talented.
So true.
It's fantastic. But like, yeah, like that, I mean, that's how independents are ran. This is the cool part about this. This is like a long-term storytelling independent, where they're really booking with the mindset of, we have to get our shit over and bring in the right names to help us establish that we can, and also grow at the same time, which they are doing very rapidly.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is fucking great to see. I'm so here for X-Pac and Cardona feud. Like not things I wanted to said, a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's crazy,
wild.
man. This event did exactly what you wanted it to do, because it delivered on what the company is known for, and it left you with questions and wanting more.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
you're instantly like, what's X-Pac going to do? What's Jeff Jarrett going to do? Where's Nick Gage in all of this? And we're going to get to that. But real quick, next topic, Mox versus Homicide. So Mox comes out rocking the GCFing shirt, which I think that can't be talked about enough, because when you have a guy of Moxley's level putting that shirt on, all the fans are signing onto that web store wanting that shirt. So he's helping. He's GCW, man. He loves this company, and he goes up against a New York legend, a Hall of Fame legend in Homicide.
Crazy.
I love this match. I thought it
was great. It was very good. I love that in that last picture, Emo's face.
Yeah.
So holy shit, so hype, man. And like that's gotta be a fucking trip. But like as you said, this is top tier main event shit, especially for GCW, especially in New York.
Oh,
you're talking. I cannot get over how fucking great Mox looks.
Look how he is, dropped weight, shredded, abs for days now.
That's crazy, man. Like he really, really, like there's that picture that's circulating where it was his last TV appearance on AEW and then his first since he came back. Wow.
Night
like
and day.
Fucking wow. Like he had that Dimebag Daryl, puffy drinking face, and then he's slim fucking Pickens over here. He looks like Rex Brown now, night and day, dude.
Yeah, man. And you mentioned, he ended up getting the win, and I think a lot of people were like, no, New York is Homicide's home turf. He's going to go over. And I wouldn't have been surprised by it, but and a lot of me thinks like maybe that was the right move.
Yeah.
From one aspect, but as far as like wanting to draw fans in that maybe just tuned into this event and they've never watched GCW, if you go away from this event realizing that their heavyweight champion is Jon Moxley, I think it's going to get more people to stick around.
100%. And like Mox was the least of the surprise. I don't know, like how we were talking about Effy and Allie and like just them going over and stuff. I figured Mox was going to win. Yeah. Homicide would be great, but we've seen Homicide, Ring of Honor world champion. He's done shit like that, and it's just we know he's not a full blown draw. He was a draw for the show, but he can't carry a company type deal. And this is not shitting on him. He's a fucking amazing performer.
He's an icon.
Absolutely icon. And then like I was explaining to the kid, I was like, he used to be in a tag team called LAX, and like he's fucking Ring of Honor guy, like blown away shit. But having Mox win just solidifies your next show. Like, listen, this is their first time ever on normal pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and you want to present yourself in that good merit, just like having the X-Pac, Jeff Jarrett. Like if there's people that if this was their first GCW event, this painted a picture of lots of cool shit. So yeah.
So
I didn't even catch that. Does Mox? No, he comes out to.
He usually comes out to Wild Thing in AEW, but the music was definitely different.
Yeah, so I guess it was Pillman's theme, which is badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Brian Myers might be pissed about that, but it was really cool. But so
epic shot.
Yeah, just fucking awesome, man. And you're talking like how we were saying. I hope this was a roadmap for the future of GCW, because they're proving star power right now. They're proving they're bringing in names to draw the casual fans, but they're also putting over their guys very well.
Yeah.
And this match was one of those things. Like Homicide looked like a fucking $1 million.
Yep.
And better again, like going back to like how people getting in shape. I've seen Homicide look way worse than he did yesterday.
He looked great.
Looked fantastic. Like 10 years younger.
Like GCW is doing a great job of, they respect these guys. They don't, they're not just a faceless member of the roster. They like Homicide to me, when he came down to the ring, he felt like what he should feel like. And that is a true mano a mano competitor against Moxley. It wasn't, he's a main eventer. He felt like a main eventer. And
no better place to do it than in your hometown. Yeah, it was fucking great. And like that's just so cool, man. I'm glad to see like these people like a Homicide not getting lost in the shuffle after all these years.
Right.
You know, challenging for the championship, putting on a fucking hell of a match.
Yeah, man.
And kudos to both men because they didn't get fucked up in this. They didn't, you know, there was no gushing blood. There's, you know, and this is two of your top guys that would be doing that kind of shit. You know,
and I love it too because
yeah,
man. And these guys are two tough motherfuckers. And there was that moment after Mox got the victory where there's a picture going around of him crouched down, forehead to forehead with Homicide. Just true respect between these two guys.
Oh, he gave him a kiss on the forehead right after that pinfall, and he was just like, you know, like you can imagine what they were saying to each other, but like,
and they've got history from before WWE.
You could go way back, and they got history. They both were in Ring of Honor at the same time. You know, they've both been back and forth. They've done the Indies together. That's got to be the coolest takeaway from this is these two guys ran the mill together.
Right.
And then they came together for this main event match, which was the semi-main event. It wasn't even the main event, but they came together for this main event match. And like the respect, the love, the brotherhood shit. When you can look at each other and say, we're tearing this fucking house down together after all these years, that's got to be sweet, man. And
and there was one thing that happened in this match when Moxley came out on AEW and gave his this past Wednesday and gave his promo, and Bully Ray came out on Busted Open Radio and had a pretty shit take on the matter where he said that he felt that he should have apologized to the fans.
Yeah.
And I couldn't disagree more.
100%.
And he doesn't owe anybody an apology except for his family. You know, if he, you know, that's all personal shit.
Yeah.
And Renee even took to Twitter and was like, "Bad take, Bully." Like, so a lot of people, it kind of caught fire on the IWC. And during this match, of course, the GCW faithful is going to let Bully Ray know how they feel. And I have a little clip of that. So fuck Bully Ray chant starts. I will say this is pro wrestling. You want to shell out some cash and get a real heel in there to, if you want to play with reality, you know, we always say reality in pro wrestling is when it's at its best.
Yeah.
Imagine if Brett Lauderdale brings in Bully Ray to feud with John Moxley.
I wouldn't put it past them.
I wouldn't either.
I don't see Bully Ray taking, you know, costing $10,000 to bring in a show either.
No.
You know, so that would be such a good feud. You owe me an apology. You know,
he's a loudmouth, man. I listen to Busted Open Radio all the time. He has takes where he does not give a shit. He speaks his mind. I respect him for speaking his mind. I don't necessarily agree with him, hardly ever, but he has a certain sect of the fan base who despise him. What better way to utilize that true heat than bring him in a role? We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I like the Mox match. I like that he retained. I think it's good for them to bring fans in. Last but not least, you know, the Briscoes match, they have the open challenge. Were you thinking FTR, Mike?
I part of me was, but part of me was totally sold on them coming out. And I thought it was going to be something different. I know Rock and Roll Express was doing their farewell tour right now, so maybe that would have been fucking something to humor. It could have went a million ways. I was not expecting fucking Tremont and Nick Gage come out.
I felt like such a fucking bonehead because last week on the show, me and you talked about you got to have Nick Gage on this show. You know, it's Hammerstein. You got to have Nick Gage. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, FTR, they've been building this feud with the Briscoes on social media. It's going to be them. And then Matt Tremont comes out and I'm like, I'm still like, well, maybe FTR get involved. And then it hits me and I'm like, no fucking duh, dumbass. It's fucking Nick Gage. That's the only way you finish a GCW show for the first time at Hammerstein. You bring out the man who built the fucking place, Nick fucking Gage.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I had no fucking clue where this was going. This partially was because if I would have watched the show from the beginning yesterday,
right,
I would have seen that opening promo package with Nick Gage standing there, and that would have been the giveaway for me. Right. Yeah. So I didn't like when I went back and rewatched, I was like, well, fuck yeah, Nick Gage was supposed to come out. He was in the they're at Hammerstein in the promo package.
Right.
But what a hell of a way to end the show.
Dude,
this match was fucking awesome.
It was awesome. I do think there were one of the commentators was on Busted Open and he was talking about how the show was running long and where they were on regular pay-per-view, they just couldn't run as long as they wanted. So there were time constraints. And I know the Briscoes were kind of vocal about they wanted a little more time, but some matches went over. So they had to cut off the back end to ensure that they had the big spot with Nick Gage. Yeah. So I think the match could have been a little longer, but the way to cap it off, I mean, I have the moment Nick Gage comes out and you want to talk about a following that you could have marched out Brock Lesnar. You could have marched out Kenny Omega. You could have marched out any guy who's over in the major companies and no one would have got a reaction like Nick Gage gets from the GCW crowd. This was the moment they realized, holy shit, MDK is in the building.
On the stage. To lead to the ring. Someone with an aura unmatched in the world of professional wrestling. It is MDK all fucking day. Nick Gage is at the Hammerstein.
that shot when the bell hits.
Oh yeah.
It's like, man, those are the moments we talk about.
Absolutely. And that's shit you can't get at an AEW show, you can't get at a Raw, SmackDown, TNA, anywhere. Like that's, and part of me hopes that GCW does not get so big to where they can't utilize, like, I love the music. I love the crowd. Like, it's got to be this all or nothing thing. You know, I don't want Grim Reaper coming out and not smoking dope. I don't want
right.
You have to keep it this way. And like that's something that concerns me about them hitting this pay-per-view kind of level. Because I know ECW did a lot of pay-per-views where they were, you know, the GCW underground era way, but I don't want them to ever get bigger. I don't want them to have to get new music and shit.
To his credit, Brett Lauderdale, he was on Busted Open last week to promote this event. And he said he never wants to be on TV.
Fuck yeah. I'm here.
He said, he was like, we can get big. He was like, but I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to lose what we have. And I respect that. He knows what they have. He knows what makes them successful. And he's not going to make the same mistakes of Paul Heyman, you know, like, and what a way to cap it off. The final thing, Nick Gage in the ring, all of the GCW OGs come down, fill the ring out, and Nick Gage cuts a promo that just fires everyone up, and they go off the air. I have a little clip of that.
It's
Just what a great way to cap the night.
Yeah, that clip sums up the whole fucking GCW experience, man. Because it's rather you're in it or you're not. You know, it's one of those kind of things. And this is, I'm so happy for Nick Gage to have that fucking moment.
Absolutely,
like how cool is that? And like, I'm curious to see what's next for the Briscoes.
Yeah, me too. I wanted to ask you about that before we move on to our final couple segments, but with them dropping the GCW titles, now they're still the ROH tag team champs.
Yeah.
But with them dropping the GCW belts, do you think this is them leaving GCW for the time being? Do you think they've signed a deal with AEW?
You know, I don't know if they've signed anything, but this might be like a little a dirt road to go down and take you to a different destination for a bit. Yeah. You know, I don't think they're going to be gone from GCW because like we got Ruby, we got, you know, even if they sign the AEW is very, very fucking huggable for GCW.
Right.
You know, they gave Ruby out, they were going to give Eddie Kingston.
Joey Janela works for them right now.
Ox, you know, for now, right?
Right, for now.
But like yeah, I hope that we get this FTR fucking match on AEW TV because it should be. And like even they are bitching about it that this should be on cable.
Yes,
this should not be a fucking YouTube match. This should be, you know, done like FTR versus Rock and Roll Express.
No, it's got to be big,
and it should be big. It's a fucking big match, you know. Them boys,
yeah, man.
But I hope that we get more of a clear picture this week. You know, maybe we'll see something on Wednesday. Maybe we'll see something Friday. Who knows?
Beach Break might have some surprises for us.
Yeah, Beach Break's gonna have a few surprises. So
yeah,
good, man.
I think so too. So we'll go ahead and one of our final segment. We have two segments, and then we'll get out of here. One of our segments we'll get into. My best bout of the weekend, just from pure excitement, I think I'm going to go grab the brass ring ladder match.
Ooh, I dig that. And I totally get why. It was fun. There was some fucking scary ass spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was an AJ Gray that jumped off the ladder.
And onto the ladder?
It bounced off of the other ladder, and he was like, fuck. Too much, man. But awesome. My best bout, I gotta say, it's gotta be the Cardona and Janela because of how fucking silly fun it was, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like it was right there for me too, just because all of the things they pulled out.
Yeah, it was great, man. Like you had so much going on in that match, so it's just how could you not enjoy?
Yeah,
this whole show, it was fucking great.
Yeah, yeah.
We won and GCW won best fucking bout of the week.
Absolutely. And the final little segment we got to pick our BMF of the weekend.
BMF of the weekend.
For me, there's the obvious Nick Gage.
Yeah.
He didn't do enough for me. Like Nick Gage is Nick Gage. We expect what we expect. It was awesome. It was the best way to end the night. But when I picked my BMF of the weekend, I was thinking like, who surprised me? And my BMF of the weekend is Jeff Jarrett.
Fuck yeah.
I was blown away. Like he looked great. They left me hanging with the question of what's next. So I went with Jeff Jarrett BMF of the weekend.
Yeah, I listen, I was brainstorming it, and mine's Jeff Jarrett too. He reinvented himself.
Yep.
And not only did he reinvent himself, but he still looks fucking legit. And
yeah.
Like the match was good. It was a fucking great match. It was a fun watch. I'm a Jeff Jarrett guy, man.
I am too. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Virgil is Anthony. Kudos, Vincent. It's not Virgil. All right.
Vincent and GCW they went with.
Yeah.
Call him whatever you want, though.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you, man. I could have picked anybody. Like AJ Gray was in my top spot for that. Yeah. Then I was really thinking about it. And I was like, after all the years that he's taken off, and then he comes back and with the outlaw gimmick, fucking Jeff Jarrett steals the show, man.
And dude, AJ Gray is like a close runner up. If I would have picked anyone else, hands down, AJ Gray. Dude killed it.
He outdid PCO, which is very fucking hard to do.
Yeah. That was
BMF of the weekend.
So yeah, that great weekend. Just real quick, guys, if you're looking ahead to what GCW has in store, February 4th and 5th, they have Fight Club Volume 2 from Houston, Texas, and then If I Die First from Dallas, Texas. February 19th and 20th, they have Believe Me and Don't Tell Me What to Do. And then February 25th and 26th, we have Welcome to Heartbreak and The Coldest Winter. And then on March 12th, it looks like this might be their next big tentpole event from Atlanta, GCW in Atlanta. So we'll see a lot of good events coming up over the next 2 months. I'm here for it, man. I want to see it shake out.
It's going to be very interesting, and I'm excited for the future of these guys, man. Everybody, they all bust their fucking ass. They earned it. And
absolutely.
This was a good showing. So fucking everybody in that locker room, everybody on production, all the way down to the camera guys. Those camera guys were busting their fucking ass last night.
Yeah. So if you guys, want to follow us at the turnbuckletavern.com, you can pick up some cool merch on our Teespring as well. Go to turnbuckletavern.com. We got coffee cups. We got merch, hoodies, all sorts of shit. Our pro wrestling tees. Get a Mike Bellcaster guy shirt.
Oh yeah, you got a Mike F and Bellcaster shirt too. Very, very appropriate for the ECW shirt.
Very appropriate, the ECW shirt. But yeah, until next week, I guess, or not next week.
2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2 weeks, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Any Tuesday after a GCW weekend, you can depend on us to be here for you guys. But until next time, we'll catch you guys. Enjoy GCW. Check it out. We'll catch you guys next time.